Imagine buying a house for $35,000. This incredible 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom home in East Cleveland, Ohio, was available to us for just 35 grand, and we just had to jump at it. I mean, it was the sort of project that a bunch of other investors had passed on. You know, they thought it was a little bit too rough, a little bit too difficult, but you know what? The tough, strong, and brave pair right here, you know, they knocked it out of the park. So this is my partner, Dulce Lopez, and our general contractor, Mike Farrington. Can't wait to show you all the amazing work that was done. Today we're gonna go in there, we're gonna talk about how we turned a 4-bedroom, 2-bath into a 7-bedroom, 2-bath. We added a bunch of luxury amenities for safety and comfort that you don't normally see in houses in this price range. And we're gonna talk a little bit about just the incredible value that projects like this can add, not just to the community, but also to the investors. Yeah. So let's head on in there, guys. So one of the critical parts of our business model is adding additional bedrooms. Adding bedrooms increases the value for appraisal, so that makes the lending process easier. And it increases the amount of maximum rental support that we can get from programs like Section 8 and Eden, providing more affordable housing for families that really badly need it. So when we first picked this up, Dulce, how many bedrooms was this?
This was 4 bedrooms.
And we've now increased it to how many?
7 bedrooms.
Yeah, so, when people hear that, they're like, oh wow, did you build like an ADU? Did you build additional, rooms into the back of it? And, that's just not realistic within like this kind of budget, right? You start getting in a whole bunch of inspectors in here. You start to like bring in an architect and do a whole bunch of additional building. It takes sometimes years to pull off like a major expansion like that. No, instead here, what do we do?
What we did is we just changed the layout. We added some walls and doors, and we called it a day.
Yeah, exactly. So right now you can feel like this is still a pretty ample living space. We've got beautiful bay windows, like lots of natural light and airflow, this beautiful old fireplace mantle. But then right here, where there used to be kind of like an open arch, that was just sort of like making this one big living space. Tell us what we did here.
So what we did here is this was complete open, and it was a little bit bigger. So we closed it up. We added drywall to the top, and we added these beautiful French doors.
Yes, yeah. I mean, these French doors turn in great. I mean, like these, having glass doors here like this means, come on through, guys. It means that, you can potentially leave this as living space and just kind of have it feel like this, like nice, light, airy kind of transition between the two spaces. Or you close that up, put some curtains on it, and this becomes essentially a master bedroom. I mean, this is, we've gotten huge bay windows with lots of natural light and kind of the nice tree and grass out here. When you have a closet, you have a door that closes, you've got a window large enough to be emergency egress in the event of a fire emergency, you got yourself a legal bedroom. Now, it's not all about just sort of squeezing out every little bedroom that we can. We've also added some really great luxury features here, like this beautifully renovated kitchen. Dulce, why don't you kind of walk us through some of the upgrades here?
Absolutely. So we added new white shaker cabinets, stainless steel appliances, butcher block, and modern sink and fixtures, as well as a new fridge, and we expanded it all the way over here. Did some, you guys, sorry, I keep saying we, you guys really just knocked this out of the park. And I know, Dulce, really, I mean, like when we showed up here today to do the filming, Dulce was covered in paint and like, and then out pulling weeds and all that other stuff. Cause she's definitely the one that really gets in there and gets her hands dirty. So speaking of which, why don't you kind of talk to us a little bit about this specific bathroom, what was it like before, and, kind of what are the improvements that you made to it? So one of the things that was wrong with this bathroom was it needed to be gutted out. So we gutted the whole thing out because there was hair everywhere. It was so disgusting. And you'll see the picture right now. So we replaced the vanity.
We replaced the bathtub. We added this beautiful, luxurious spa-like tile.
Yeah. I really like this. This feels really nice. I like this.
It is beautiful. And a modern day vanity as well as the fixtures. So originally there were 4 bedrooms, and as of today, there are 7 total.
Incredible, absolutely incredible. Now we're not going to walk you through every single one of the renovated bedrooms, but for the most part they're like this. Like the original 4 bedrooms are like this. Why don't you kind of walk us through some of the details in this bedroom and like kind of what the process was like for renovating it?
Yes, absolutely. So this particular bedroom, amongst another one, had some drywall issues. So the ceiling was falling down. So we had to re-drywall and repair it. And then we painted the entire rooms white and new flooring throughout.
And match the textures too. I mean, like this is kind of done back when they used to like put on pretty fancy textures on the ceiling, and so that can be tough to match. And I can see you guys trying to match those textures wherever there were patches filled. So you guys did an awesome job.
Yeah, the stamp pattern.
Yep, exactly.
And Mike did an incredible job with that.
All right, now a lot of the transformation as well also happened in here, which used to just be like a dusty old attic without much of a staircase up here. So tell us a little bit about what you did to kind of make this feel like a homey, step up into the additional bedrooms.
So one of the things that we had to do was add this banister right here, and that actually has to be there in order to be compliant with safety. But what we did was we put this together and we made it for less than $200 because when you're doing handmade banisters and stuff, it can get quite expensive. So we actually figured it out and we got it done. I think it looks pretty decent.
Yeah, honestly, like it was if you hadn't brought attention to it, I would have thought that this was just an antique, like original banister to the house that's been here. Although, it's not until you look close and say, wait a second, it's not just a wooden dowel that's just sort of like drilled into the top.
That's exactly what it is.
So we matched the aesthetic from the downstairs banister.
Honestly, you absolutely killed it, and it all feels very consistent and very upscale. And it also, I think any other developer, I want to really emphasize that anybody else would have probably just thrown up a piece of plywood or something on here, but we're really trying to deliver something a little more elegant, a little more personalized, something in keeping with the character of the original house, and really create something that could generate some pride of ownership. Dulce, why don't you show us what you did with the attic?
Sure, come right upstairs.
All right, so this is really where a lot of the value was added. I know every time you and I are exploring new potential investment opportunities, first thing we look at is the attic. We want to know, is there an attic that can be finished into a room? And then you shocked me with this one when you turned this one big unfinished attic into not just 1 but 2 extra bedrooms. Why don't you walk us through that?
Absolutely. So this entire place was 1 single room. It needed new subflooring, so we completely added that. We added 2 walls to create division and 2 separate bedrooms with their own entryways.
Nice little built-in shelf here.
Nice built-in shelf.
Huge windows that are possibly used for egress, emergency egress if necessary. That's a big code requirement. Make sure that these rooms are safe, like truly safely occupiable. And and they're both like surprisingly ample spaces for living.
Yes, and you can fit a complete bedroom set here and live comfortably upstairs.
And of course, the good stuff doesn't stop just in the interior of the house. Why don't you talk to us a little bit about what was going on back here?
So we had to tear down a 2-car garage, and we knocked it down by hand.
Yeah.
You knocked it down.
Yeah. And one of the reasons why I actually really like East Cleveland is it's so green You know, I mean, I know maybe it's boring for you guys, but for me, you know, from the West Coast, especially like the deserty parts of California, like seeing this much greenery, the vines kind of creeping up on the walls and everything. Again, I know like to you, these are a nuisance, but like, you know, for me, these are like, oh wow, like it feels so like charming and rustic and East Coast and, you know, all that. So
Beautiful.
I think it's really beautiful. I mean, like talk to me about like, you know, what you guys did with the exterior here. Like, I know, you know, when we first came in, there was a bunch of issues with the siding.
Yeah, so what we did is we replaced the exterior with vinyl siding.
Like, was that like an encapsulation?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, to explain kind of the difference between like having to sort of refinish, like, and you know, encapsulation and what that means.
Okay, so when you're doing encapsulation, it's basically taking the existing siding that you have and going over it with the proper product or painting or whatever medium that you're going to use. That's an encapsulation. So refinishing would be taking that medium, let's say it's wood, a wood siding. You'd have to grind it down to its bare surface and then go back over that. That's resurfacing.
Sure.
What we did was we went over that with a brand new vinyl siding, so that takes care of both. You know, say if you had like an old paint that
So whether
was
lead
questionable,
paint,
right.
potential asbestos, insulation and things like that, the code compliant way to deal with it is to literally just like completely cover it, encapsulate it in vinyl,
And remove,
and you know, and now there's not going to be any issues. There's not going to be any kids like, you know, scratching lead paint off the walls and revealing some old asbestos and stuff like that, which a lot of the houses around here are riddled with that kind of problem.
Because they're so old.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
definitely. So this is a safe way, and it's more economical just to do it this way. So that's what we chose in order to stay in budget.
Exactly. In budget, but also still providing a safe, beautiful, luxury product for some really lucky family that's going to get the chance to live here at just like a rock bottom rate, subsidized by a program that's desperately looking for, you know, big, beautiful homes like this to be able to place families in need. And on top of all of that, the investors make exceptional returns. And we're talking like 3 to 5 times what the profit would be on a similar investment in California. So honestly, this is just such an incredible project. It is a win, win, win. And I honestly can't wait to keep doing more of these with you guys. So again, this is Mike Farrington and Dulce Lopez. I'm Richard Whalen, owner and broker of the Imagination Brokerage. Find us at imaginationbroker.com. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. I'm everywhere. So anyway, thanks so much, guys. And, you know, catch you guys next time.